Hey everyone. Well, hi one. Let's just hold on a sec to make sure we get everything set up here. Okay. Robert, yes, good morning. Thanks for joining. That's awesome. So, yeah, I'm just gonna wait just a few more seconds here till exactly 10:30. I know it's kind of a weird time of day to do this, but I gotta work later, so it is what it is. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate that. Yeah, local's always good. Are you from, you live in Niagara as well, or somewhere else in Ontario? I was born and raised in North Bay, Ontario. I moved down here in '99. So, yeah, it's always cool to see local people on chat and hear, read the comments from local people that watch the videos. So it's cool, and we appreciate the support. Thanks. All right, it's 10:30. So it looks like it's you and I. Oh, St. Catharines. Okay, sweet. That is pretty local. So you know the trails that my son and I ride probably quite well. So let's get into it. New bike day. Well, actually, new bike day was literally on January 1st of this year. So what better way to start off the year, right? With a new bike. So so first of all, let me tell you what it is. So the bike is a Commencal Meta HT AM race. That's pretty big mouthful to say all that. So yeah, Commencal Meta HT AM race. So this is the only build in the Meta hardtail lineup that has a Fox and Shimano build. Now, this bike, like I say, it's got the Fox 36 Performance up front with the Grip 3 damper, I think. I'm still learning a bit about this Fox suspension. I never thought in my life that I would have Fox suspension, and lo and behold, now I do. It's got SLX drivetrain. The whole drivetrain is SLX. So the cranks, the chain ring, the actual chain is SLX. The bottom bracket is Holotech SLX, and the cassette is SLX, and the derailleur is SLX. Of course, the shifter is SLX. So the brakes are also SLX, because usually if the drivetrain is a certain brand, then the brakes will be the same type of brand. So yeah. So if anyone doesn't know, well, sweet, I've got somebody else on. Thank you. Thanks for joining. If anyone doesn't know, that's watching this now or watching this in the future when it's posted, I'm coming off of a 2022 Trek Roscoe 6. That bike was fantastic. I love that bike. It was comfortable. It was a good ride. Upgraded it probably more than I should have. But that's part and parcel of bike ownership. I just love upgrading. So yes, coming from that bike to this bike is a pretty major jump. I stuck with a hardtail, and I'll get into a little bit of why I did that as we go along here. But yeah, coming from 120 mil RockShox Judy TK Silver with 30 mil stanchions to a 36 mil stanchion, 150 mil travel Fox Performance fork is probably going to be a major jump, and I can't wait to ride this thing. I haven't ridden it yet, except for down the street yesterday to take some shots of it and a little bit of video of it, and literally I just rode it down the street. I didn't take it downhill, nothing, no trails yet. This bike hasn't seen dirt yet, so that's what the bike is. I'm really looking forward to riding modern geometry. So this has got a 64.5 degree head tube angle. My Roscoe had a 67.5 degree head tube angle, so there's quite a bit of a difference there. And this is an extra large. It has a 190 mil dropper on it. So riding yesterday literally was the first time I actually got in the saddle and had a little bit of a ride over to the park there. And I gotta say, it doesn't feel like an XL. It feels really comfortable. Like, I think the large on the Roscoe that I had probably was just a bit too small. And looking at the reach number on the Roscoe, from what I remember, it was like 432. This has got a 475 reach on it. And I'm telling you, this bike is super comfortable for me just down the road. So I'm really interested to take it on the trails. I can't wait. Spring can't come soon enough. I know you guys would agree. Yeah, upgrades are standard with biking to personalize the ride for you. Exactly. Oh, January 1st was your birthday. Sweet. Well, happy belated birthday. We got to ride together. You're so close. I'm now on Instagram. My son and I, our channel, dirtyforks_MTB. So if you want to hit me up on Instagram when riding season starts, I would love to ride with some local people. I see someone else has joined. So just a quick recap. I'm not going to do this for everyone that joins, but just a quick recap. Commensal, Meta, HTAM, race build. Fox and Shimano. So thank you for joining. I appreciate it. I know this is kind of a weird time of day to do it, but I got to work later, so it is what it is. So now you know what it is. I just want to thank, if anyone that is on this video watching right now, or in the future when I post this, if you're watching this video and you watch Tough MTB Decisions Help Me, that video that I posted, it got like, it's got 1,303 views. It actually did really well. Probably one of my better videos right off the hop. But I got a ton of suggestions, so I really want to thank you guys for your suggestions. Someone like, bro, I got you. There are crazy deals on bikes. Yeah, crazy deals on bikes. I had a lot of people say, well, if you've never ridden a full suspension, you got to up your game and get on a fully. It's going to change your whole view of mountain biking, especially when you've been on a hardtail for so long. So yeah, like I had people on the comments here on that video, you know, saying that they had an Excalibur Trek 8. Took 2 years to realize I hated the geometry. So basically that Geo on the Excal is the same as like my Roscoe 6 at the time, but now they've completely revamped the Roscoe 6, and it's like more, it has the exact same frame as the rest of the lineup. Finally they made that decision to do that. So that was a long time coming, 2 years in the making actually. So like I say, I will not downplay that Trek Roscoe 6 because I loved it and it took everything I threw at it. But now it's time for not dated Geo. So yeah, I want to thank you for all your suggestions. So basically, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the decision-making process. that was a process. Uh, it was like, I don't even know what to compare it to. So, because there are so many bikes out there, like my budget was $2,500. I did not want to go past that. So then I started looking. Okay, well the bike deals are insane right now. Like it's the bikeopolis, right? Bikeopolis right now. The bike deals are insane. Kona has buy one get one free on their process. I'm not sure if it's still going on like that. Um, all the bike shops local are having crazy deals. Um, I looked at a San Quentin 2 uh, at the local shop. It was $1,190 from, I think the regular price is like $1,900. Now that's last year's model. In 2024, they've updated the San Quentin. So yeah, people are trying to still offload COVID bikes and inventory and all that crap, but I'm not going to get into that. So that's unbelievable bike deal. So I was talking to a guy at County Cycle, and he's like, "Oh, have you looked at the full suspension? Have you ever considered a full suspension?" I'm like, "No, I don't want a full suspension. I love hardtails. I love the feedback and the feeling you get on a hardtail on the trails. They make any trail a little bit more difficult." So then I looked at full suspension because I'm like, okay, well, if there's all these deals on all the bikes I'm currently looking at, then there must be deals on full suspensions as well. It can't just be hardtails. So I started looking at full suspension. So I'm looking, okay, the Norco Fluid A4, $21.99, brand new at the shop, $21.99. Thinking, whoa, hold on a second here. That's under my budget. But then there's tax and all that other fun stuff. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go down to the shop. I'm gonna sit on one. I'm gonna look at it because they always look different in person, obviously, than pictures online and videos online and stuff. So I go to the shop. I go on. I pull out the A4, and sure enough, like it's a beautiful bike, but it didn't really jive with me. It didn't really sit well with me. I didn't like the fit and finish of it. So I really like the A2 build, which was $3,200. So that's beyond my budget. So I had it, just to make long story short, I had it narrowed down between the Da Vinci Cobain 12S, the Trek Roscoe 8, and this. So, but this build was $2,800 on the Common Sol website right now. So that is a bit over my budget, and I thought, well, you know what? I would have to save anyway for the Trek Roscoe 8. So why don't I save another $500 and get the bike I want, right? So the other deciding factor was I want a bike that I don't have to upgrade right away. Like, I don't want to upgrade it. I just want to buy the bike out the shop and away we go. And I want a future-proof frame. 100%. That's a deal breaker if it wasn't future-proof. So I had it, like I say, narrowed down: Da Vinci, Trek, and Common Sol. So I was looking at the Trek Roscoe 8, and I thought, okay, well, that's the sweet spot build, but I think that for me it was a little bit overpriced for the components you get on it. So then I looked at the Da Vinci Cobain 12S, and it came with the Marzocchi Z2 bomber, or Marzocchi Z2. It had the Shimano MT200 2-piston, so but it's a good frame. It's solid build. Thanks for joining. Free today. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're free today, and I'm glad you're here. Sick bike. Thank you so much. I can't wait to ride this thing. um, so anyway, I went on Facebook Marketplace, and because I'm handy with wrenching on my own stuff, I've got all the tools and everything. I go on Marketplace. I look on used bikes. So I'm scrolling down a couple pages, and then this pops up. Wow. 2022 Commensal Meta HTAM race. Ridden once around the block, decided it wasn't for me. That's what the ad said, basically. And then it listed all the spec. So I contacted the guy. This was New Year's Eve. I contacted the guy. I'm like, I love the bike. It's been listed for like, I don't know, a month. I don't know how. And listed at $2,500. So I contacted the guy on New Year's Eve. I'm like, I want your bike. Would you take $2,200? Yep, sure. Would you meet me in Burlington? Yep, sure. So, like, beautiful. So, will you meet me on New Year's Day? Yep, sure. What? Okay, so this is either meant to be, or there's something really wrong with this bike and he just wants to offload it. So I see I got someone else joining, so thank you. So I drive to Burlington New Year's Day. My in-laws are Scottish, so we went to their house in the morning and had a full-on Scottish breakfast, and then drove to Burlington, met with the guy, super cool guy, didn't know squat about bikes. And he pulls this thing out of his trunk, and I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? It's brand new. Like, he literally, I'm sure, I don't know if you can tell from the distance from the phone, like from the camera to the bike, but it's just like, what? This bike has not been ridden. It's never seen dirt. The most dirt it's seen is me taking it to the park yesterday to take pictures of it and a little bit of video. So, like, unreal. So we talk, we spend too much time talking about riding and stuff, and he wants to get a gravel bike and all this stuff. So okay, well, I'm just going to take it for a spin around the parking lot. Well, I get on it, and I feel right away the pedals they've been cross-threaded. I'm like, oh, no, why? Why? So when you get a bike online, you got to set up the front. You got to put you got to set up the front. It's escaping me right now. The stem and the handlebar, you got to set that up. You got to put pedals on it, and you got to put the front tire on it, front wheel on. So I'm like, okay, well, what else is screwed up, right? So then I see he's got the dropper post, like the actual post that goes into the tube all the way up to here, but the post isn't extended. So he didn't even know it had a dropper post. So he had it for a year sitting in his basement. So I'm like, okay, so I try to actuate the dropper post and it won't. So I had the dropper post out, and I could actuate it like manually from the bottom here. So it worked, but all the cabling and everything was kinked inside. So after an hour of this, talking and, humming and hawing, because I don't want to buy a new set of cranks, for crying out loud. Like, a new set of SLX cranks are going to run me, $350. So I said, look, the pedals are probably maybe 2 or 3 threads I'll lose. Thanks for joining, by the way. Skater Girl, and free today. Alex MTB, awesome. Tony, thanks you guys. I really appreciate it. Nice. Hello from Ohio. Sweet. Super nice bike. Thanks. King City. Yeah, you need to service this kind of bike, but it looks great. Yeah, thanks, Alex. Um, so, so anyway, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll give you 1,800 cash right now. And I said, but any more than that, I can't do it. Because if I have to if I have to replace cranks because of the stupid pedals, then you know it's gonna cost me $350 to do that. And a dropper, I wasn't worried about that. You know, whatever. So he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do 18. Like, what? Okay. So I gave him $1,800 cash and I put it in the van and I drove home. Like, what just happened? Like, did that just happen? I got this bike for $1,800. It's on the Common Soul website right now, like I said, for 2,900, 28 or 29, I can't remember. And the full list price is $3,700. So what just happened? The bike is brand new. So anyway, that is the story of how I got that bike. And I love the look of this thing. It's so long. It's like I say, it's an extra large. I'm just repeating this for some of the people that just joined. It's an extra large. It's long. It's slack. It's low. Yeah, I know, long, lock, and slow, whatever. But I can't wait to ride this thing. Like I can't wait. I felt I had mixed feelings selling the Roscoe, but I know that it's for the best. And if I do want to go to full suspension in the future, I have some really solid parts on this bike. So, like I said, it's SLX everything. Like literally everything is SLX, and it's a Fox 36 Performance on the front. So I've got super good, solid components. If I want to just buy a full suspension frame down the road and swap all the stuff over and then just sell the common cell frame, or keep the common cell frame and build a custom build for my son when he needs a new bike, which will probably be 2 seasons from now. So yeah, I can't freaking wait to ride this season. I can't wait. Gotta love when a plan comes together. Oh, don't you? Like, man. Yeah, for sure. So I have had my eye on these bikes for quite a while. I just love the look of them. And everyone that owns one of these bikes, in every single video I've ever watched of it, all the reviews of it, and all like the rabbit holes that I went down, yeah, this bike it's just a no-brainer. So did it fix the cranks? Yes, I tapped the cranks. I took the pedals off the night that I brought it home on January 1st. I took the pedals off right away. He had the right pedal on the left side, so the non-drive side, and yeah, the vice versa. Left pedal on the drive side. So, so I just did it very carefully and backed those pedals out, and literally 2 threads. That was it. When I rode around the parking lot and I felt like the wonkiness of the pedal, immediately I took my feet off the pedals. I'm like, whoa, no, because I didn't want to destroy it any further, right? So yeah, it's those the threads in the cranks, 100% full. Like did it properly, a full tap on each crank, perfectly fine, no issues at all, absolutely no compromise there. I fixed the dropper. It works 100% fine now. I just threw on a new cable housing and cable, mint. And I've also set up the tires tubeless. So for a long time, we'll just put it this way, it took me long enough. So I do have a tubeless setup now. And for those of you that don't know, I also I laced on a new hub. So It came with Formula hubs. They're pretty good Formula hub actually. But my experience with Formula hubs in the past, they always develop that play, that back and forth play in the free hub body. So I'm like, screw it. I saved so much money on this bike. I'm just gonna get a hub. So I got a Tour brand 150 point engagement hub that has 2.3, no, 2.4 degrees of engagement. So it's faster engagement than I had on my Roscoe, which was 108 points of engagement at a 3.4 degree, I think. So super sweet. If you haven't heard the hub or seen the hub or anything about the hub, I have a video online. Check it out. So can't wait to ride this bike and the hub. The hub is from a startup company, so there's like literally nothing, no information at all out there on the hub. So I picked up a Rift Zone 5 for 700. And I only needed a new chain. See what I mean? Like, man, if you're handy with wrenches and you can do your own stuff, like, used is the way to go, especially right now, because the used market, it's crashing. I know what the bikes are, as long as you know what the bikes are worth, and if you see, like, okay, this has been posted for like 2 or 3 months or whatever, like, yeah, just be careful though when you buy used though still. And of course, most of the time you forfeit warranty when you buy used. Well, whatever, you know what? It is what it is. We're talking, $1,000+ saved on this. So yeah, and I finally got a bike with a Holotech, like through spindle bottom bracket. So yeah, I blew through 4 bottom brackets last season on the square taper cartridge. so it was time. It was definitely time for an upgrade, and I didn't want. I looked at cranks and upgrading the Holotech on the Roscoe, and I'm like, you know what? Like, there comes a point where you're spending too much money on a bike that has older geo, and you know that you're just gonna want to upgrade, sell the bike and up, and the more money you put in a bike, the less money you're gonna get back. You're never gonna get all your money back in a bike. There's just not a chance. Always the best case scenario is to save for the bike that you want, pay cash for it, and then keep the bike that you have for whatever. So for me, I had to sell it in order to fund this. So, and I don't have the room for a whole whack of bikes anyway. So that's the story. This coming Sunday, I'm gonna have a full bike check video. But I'm really glad to see I had a few people online, so that's pretty sweet. How many bikes do I have? I just have one, just this one. My son has one plus his BMX, and then my wife has her bike as well. So that's it. I don't have like a whack of bikes. I don't see the need for it. I have absolutely no interest in road riding whatsoever, like none. Like, it's in the negative bracket for me. Gravel riding, all this other stuff. I want a mountain bike. That's all I want to do. And same with my son. So yeah, that's all the bikes that I have. This one. Can we hear the back hub? It's Tor. It's not Thor. It's Tor. Can you spin the back wheel? I can. You're probably not going to hear it too well. Screams. Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty high engagement. So, yeah, looking forward to it. When I had it out yesterday, it was pretty quiet. Oh, and the other thing too is, when I rode this bike for the very short amount of time I rode it down the road yesterday, this bike is so comfortable. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm, like I say, coming from the Trek Roscoe 6, um, having the 430 some odd reach to a 475 reach. I know these bikes run a little bit smaller. Must make a huge difference because, man, I'm telling you, it didn't feel like an XL. It, when I move it around, it feels like an XL. It's so long. Um, but I can't wait to ride it on the trails, especially Lomer Simpson. If you're local, you know that trail. Um, I want to feel the difference in stability with the slacker geo and the short chain stays, the 29er tire, 29er wheels. Yeah, coming from, like, again, coming from a 27.5, now I got a 29er, 27.5 2.8, 29er 2.6, tubeless. Yes, I finally did it. So again, I have a few more people just join the chat here. Just join the. I got 2 bikes, the Rift Zone 5 and the Fuel EX8. Oh, Fuel EX8, you can't go wrong. Either bike, you can't go wrong. Marins are super, super solid bikes. I did look at the Rift Zone because they had a crazy sale at Bike Fit, but it was before I made all the decisions to sell some stuff to afford this. So, man, thanks for joining. If you just joined, we're just finishing up. So, again, Sunday, full bike check video coming out. Thanks again for clicking on and watching the live stream with me. Yeah, stay tuned to the channel because we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Take care. Stay safe out there on the trails. Keep the rubber side down if you're lucky enough to ride right now. And we'll catch you on Sunday.